Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast on the From the Heart Business Network. You've joined a global movement of sales professionals who are dedicated to being authentic and building trust. We call it Selling from the Heart. Together, we're on a mission to bring sincerity and substance to the sales profession we all love. Get ready to be inspired and equipped as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Darrell Amy.
If you're a high-performing salesperson, you know your time is your most valuable asset. So why waste it on tasks that someone else could handle even better? That's where our friends at Work Better Now come in.
Work Better Now virtual assistants are specially trained to help sales professionals like you fully leverage your time. Imagine offloading administrative work, calendar management, data entry, and follow-ups so you can focus on what you do best, building relationships and closing deals.
With a dedicated assistant at your side, you'll have the bandwidth to grow your pipeline, strengthen client connections, and crush your sales goals.
It's simple. Free up your time, maximize your impact. Let Work Better Now help you work smarter, not harder. Your sales career deserves this game-changing advantage.
Visit workbetternow.com today to learn more and get started, because your time isn't just money, it's everything. Hello, and welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host, Darrell Amy, here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
Hey, great seeing you, Darrell. We're in for a treat. Something tells me we're going to dive in deep to some topics that might be near and dear to salespeople today.
That's right. We're going to hit the road with our friend Steve Benson. Get ready for some really practical advice that you can use to be more efficient and effective in what you do. Hey, thank you for joining us this week on Selling from the Heart. If you're new, you've joined a growing community of sales professionals that are dedicated to being genuine, being authentic, building trust. All these things are attributes of selling from the heart right here in this profession we all love. And hey, we get to make a lot of friends all over the country, all over the world. The Selling from the Heart community is just incredible. I'd love to give a shout out every single week to one of our friends.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a two for Darrell. This is a 2-for-1. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Bill McCormick. We love Bill McCormick. He just such a great Selling from the Heart member, but he introduced me to Jen Halpern. And I just had an amazing conversation with her. Kindred spirit. I want to say, Bill, I appreciate you. Jen, you're awesome.
Awesome. And we'd love to connect with you. If you're new to the show or you haven't connected with us yet, just look for me or Larry on LinkedIn. Hey, today's guest is someone who truly understands the world of sales from the ground up. Literally. Steve Benson is the founder and CEO of Badger Maps, the #1 route planning and mapping tool built specifically for field sales teams. With a background in geography, an MBA, and experience in major roles at IBM, HP, and Google, Steve turned his deep understanding of mapping, data, and sales into a powerful solution that helps sales professionals boost productivity, stay organized, and perform at their best. Steve knows firsthand the challenges of life on the road, the long days, the endless miles, the constant pressure to perform. And that's why his solution, Badger Maps, isn't just a tech solution. It's a way to bring clarity, focus, and efficiency to the field, helping us spend less time planning and more time connecting with customers. And that's what we're all about here at Selling from the Heart. So Steve, welcome to the studio. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's I've been looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you.
No, same here. Thanks for hanging out with us, Steve.
Absolutely. Hey, Steve, as we get started, you know the question that every guest on Selling from the Heart takes a stab at, and that is, what does it mean to you to sell from the heart?
Well, I think it means a lot of things to me. I mean, for starters, sales is as old as civilization, right? We've always had salespeople. This is a very human interaction. And I think that a lot of times in the modern world and the way we're doing things, a lot of things today is we forget that. But if you recentering around, we've been having different things like between two different people, and we've been finding ways to trade and sell the thing that we have in exchange for the thing that they have forever, right? As long as people have been around each other, which is forever. So I think that's, if you kind of get back to that and get back to thinking about what would I, if I were in a cave trading this for that, what kinds of things would I be? That's selling from your heart. That's selling as a human. So you've got to focus on the other person. You've got to be empathetic. You've got to think about what you have and how it's useful for what they need. And to do that, you have to have been curious about them. You have to have thought about them and thought about what their needs are, and thought about what's going to be, how is not only the thing that you're selling going to be useful, but how are you going to be useful in general? And what are all the things that you can bring to the table? And really threading all that together. So I guess that's ultimate. That's, if I were going to zoom out, that's what it means to me. I mean, there's so much, there's a lot of noise in the world of sales, and a lot of strategies that everyone's got 17 acronyms they're trying to juggle in their mind. But really, if you just focus on, how am I going to create value for this person? And we're going to then be trading value in the form of money, obviously. And that's all that sales is when you zoom back, you've got a thing and you want them to have that thing, and you want to make an exchange for it. And if you keep that in mind, I think it can really come across a lot more naturally, a lot more authentically.
Hey, this is good. I got to zoom in on a word, noise. And I think it's going to set us up for a really great conversation. There's a lot of noise out there, tons of noise that actually disconnects us from what we must be doing as salespeople. And that's just having conversations with other people. So if we can eliminate the noise, simple to do, yet difficult to do on a daily basis, I think it helps us become even better, is zero out the noise.
Yeah. And I think noise is affecting us in a lot of ways, right? Like it's a noisy world, and that the prospect that is sitting across from you has seen 20,000 ads in the last 24 hours, right? Between all the sneaky ways we can be advertised to. So I think people's guard is generally up, and people are generally suspicious of things. And one of the reasons that you have a sales team, and obviously my focus is in field sales, but so certainly when you're sending someone out to sit down in front of a customer, this is the case. But even if you are having someone call on the phone, like, it's because there's something here that just can't be purchased on Amazon. This isn't a commodity that, you're just going to buy the cheapest one that comes up on Amazon and hit the add to cart button. This is something that needs explanation. This is something that is a longer term or a repeated relationship. This is something that is confusing or has a bunch of moving parts, or it's expensive enough that it's worth sitting down with someone and spending the time with them. So there's a lot of reasons you can want to put a salesperson in front of someone for something, but often it's because there is something to talk about. And so the first thing is to be a true expert in both your customer, the type of person that you're always sitting down with. There's lots of special things about them and if you sell to dentists, for example, different dentists, they have similar problems, and you can learn about those problems and you can kind of become an expert, not only in the thing that you sell to dentists, but you can become an expert in dentists in a way that's going to really help them, right? Like when they complain about how hard it is to figure out parking, or how hard it is to deal with their scheduling. And I'm just making things up about dentists, but like you have spoken with 300 dentists this year, mm-hmm. and you could be an expert in those things that are their common pain points. These are small business owners, these dentists, and so they probably run into a lot of the same things. You can be an expert in those things, not just your product. And so now you're creating value in more ways. Mm-hmm. And so that perspective, if I'm just looking to create value, is a key strategy.
I think that's extremely powerful. And, one thing, when I think about sales professionals, wherever you are, whatever industry you're in, whatever style of sales that you have, one thing we all have in common, and that is we all have 24 hours in a day. And I've always thought that the biggest driver in sales effectiveness beyond working on your skill set, your mindset, your heart set is working on efficiency. And I remember, Steve, back in the day in some of my early sales roles, I had a territory that spanned about a quarter of the state. And I spent a lot of time driving around and sometimes driving around aimlessly. If I looked at an average week and said, how many hours do I spend behind the windshield? You go, wow, this is a lot of time. And so I love the expertise that you've brought to bear here to go, hey, can we help people be more efficient? And I think for everyone listening in, whether you sit behind a windshield or behind a computer monitor, this thought about efficiency is a conversation that is extremely important to sales and sales success.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the first things I think people can focus on if becoming more efficient is a thing that you're looking to do, is look into technology. There's so many different types of technology that are really often customized to your role. And sales is one of the areas that technologists have focused on, just because follow the money, right? And there are in every industry, in every job type, in every role type, there are useful things floating around for salespeople to make to solve different problems for them. And I've obviously spent my career focused on a handful of these problems, but there are often a few very easy fixes that can have surprising results. Like it's countless how many times I've talked to people who are like, I'm actually really surprised about how much time I was wasting doing this, doing XYZ part of my job. And turns out the computer can do that part really well. And I could have been saving this much time, this much money, doing this much better the whole time. Especially at a company level, it's worth thinking about what are the things that we could get our reps, and what are the things, could we have this person figure out what would solve this problem for a whole bunch of reps, and can we help that? Can that person then get that, deploy it, and then go through and help all the reps get going with it and using it? You can make some financially small and time-wise small investments that have huge payoffs.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Steve, a large portion of our audience are, they're out in the field. They're outside, possibly full cycle salespeople making it happen. So based on your experience, and we start thinking about time wasters or where they can grab some time back, what are you seeing out there as relates to maybe 2 or 3 areas that salespeople can go, you know what? If I can improve in these areas, it would make my life a whole lot easier. In other words, what are some of the time wasters you're seeing?
Well, a big one is just spending too much time with the wrong prospects. So one challenge with being a field salesperson is when you open up your CRM system, it's giving you, there's no great way to sort it based on where you're going to be, right? So if you are going to be driving out to Springfield tomorrow and it's an hour away, you want to be able to hit who's important along the way, and you're due to hit them along the way. And then you're going to work Springfield, and then you're going to go somewhere else in the afternoon. Maybe you have a 2:00 somewhere else, and then so you want to think about what's on the way there, and then what's on the way home, and that's kind of your day. And the next day you go in a slightly different direction. It's very, very difficult if you're given a list of 1,000 things in a list to try to pick out what's along the way, and also, the human mind just can't do this. It can't layer over. So help me figure out what's important, and then help me figure out what's on the way, and then help me figure out, I got to keep in mind who I haven't seen within this period of time. Because if I just saw him, this in the last 2 weeks, I don't want to see him again. But if I haven't seen him in 6 months, it's like super urgent that I see them. and so that we can't hold multiple variables like that in our minds. And that's the sort of place that technology can help. And that's kind of step 1 of 4 of using something like the product that I built, the Badger Map. That's the first thing it does is like you look at your map and you're like, well, I'm driving out here, and you can filter different types of customers off, like whatever data you have about them that says this is not important. Maybe you just saw them. Maybe the type of customer or the size makes them less important. Maybe they're whatever the thing is. You can pull them from the map, and then you can see, okay, well, I'm going to go past that. So I want to add that one, and add that one. And we of course have AI that helps you do that too. You can just be like, well, why don't you just, knowing that I'm going to see this person and this person, why don't you suggest who else I should be seeing in the next day? And oh yeah, I do want to see that. Yes. No, I don't want to see that. No. But then being able to build out your route saves you a ton of time. Like as you're just adding these things to, as you say, yes, I want to visit this person, it all goes onto a route. You can optimize the route, and then you can execute the route on the mobile device, right? So that's I guess a long way of describing the workflow of how you can make yourself more efficient. And that's one of the biggest problems, though, is just it's hard to keep in mind who you should be seeing, and B, keep all the data about these things that you have in front of you. It's hard to actually turn all that data into actions. It's hard to say, okay, well, I know I've got a whole database. I've got my whole CRM full of information, taking it and turning it into, so tomorrow I'm going to do this in this order, and I'm going to be there at these times for this much time, and I'll be home at this time. It's really hard to go from the big pile of information to, and so here's what I'm doing tomorrow. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think like that, just that paralysis right there. If we all had an honest conversation with ourselves and go, how much time did I spend stuck in paralysis, or how much action did I not take? Or what did I miss? Because I was just simply stuck, and I'm staring at my screen with my CRM or list or whatever, and I'm just driving around going, I don't know, what should I do now? Then I think that was, I just start to reflect, if I'm honest, back in the day, which was, many decades ago for me when I was in a field sales role, that, a lot of times you're like, well, I got an hour and a half. Where am I going to go? And just kind of driving around aimlessly and wandering and pulling into parking lots and walking indoors, when, if you could solve that problem technology wise and remove the paralysis, just makes me think, like, what are all the different places where we waste time? So we've identified one. Let's put our heads together and think, what are some other areas where salespeople just get stuck in paralysis and ended up wasting hours and hours of their day?
Well, I think an underappreciated time waster is so you can only be paralyzed for so long. You have to take action. So you kind of sit down, you're like, well, I'm planning Thursday right now. I know I have to be here at 10 and here at 2. I know where I live. I'm going to build out my plan. I'm going to fill out the rest of the time. Or like when you're describing, I'm already out in the field and I've got an hour and a half free because this guy just texted me and told me he can't meet with me right now because his dog's sick. Like there are so many reasons that you need to be able to make decisions quickly and efficiently, but also make good decisions.
Yeah.
Because what's underappreciated is how much time is spent not just in the planning and figuring out what I should do, and not just in the wasted time when when it's like, oh, well, now things are kind of messed up because this guy left and I don't know what to do now. I don't know who's around me right now. I don't know which leads that I've never even talked to are around me right now. There's also, all those are all problems that we can solve pretty cleanly. And I think people understand those problems are there. What's harder, I think, for a VP of sales to explain to like a CIO when they're asking for money for new tools is But the guys aren't just going to sit there paralyzed. They're going to go out and they're going to be doing things, but it's not going to be as efficient as it could have been. They're going to end up zigzag. They're going to end up running inefficient routes. They're going to end up not hitting that important account that's on the way to this other account because they just kind of forgot, oh, if I had driven 5 minutes out of my way, I would have been able to hit that one too. They don't hit that one. And so now they've got to go circle back and hit that area again. And they got to do it next week because that was an important account. And so that, I think, is underappreciated, how much time is wasted by not having done the planning of your day and the routing of your day and the scheduling of your time efficiently.
Oh, so I'm sitting here, Steve, listening to you, and I just had a story flash in front of my eyes, and it's real world, and it plays to exactly what you're talking about. So part of what I just love doing, and I geek out on this, is I like doing ride-alongs, ride-outs, whatever words y'all want to say, with salespeople. And I remember this was only a couple months ago. I'm out in the car all day with somebody. We drove 40 minutes. True story. We drove 40 minutes out to go see somebody, and that whole call lasted maybe 5 minutes tops. 40 minutes back. Now, we had some conversation in the car and so forth. So that's 80 minutes. That's an hour and what? 20 minutes. An hour and a half. Yeah. Almost an hour and a half.
Wow.
I'm just thinking, listening to you going, I'm sure this person passed by 4 or 5 of their clients. And now there's 90 minutes. And then at the end, that person say, man, we had a really busy day. Oh, yeah, we drove 40 minutes one way to see someone for 5 minutes, drove 40 minutes back. Right. But I applaud you because that's I just walked through it, Steve Benson.
Yeah. And when I started Badger Maps, 14 years ago, it's not because I was like a psychic genius or something. I had been a field salesperson for my career, and then I worked at Google with Google Maps. And
right.
So I don't call me a creative genius, because I was like, so the problem that I know really well, I sell the thing that could fix that problem. Like I see the pieces here, and also it was the right place, right time. Like the iPhone was just getting strong enough to run software like this. So yeah, I mean, I think every salesperson who's been in the field has lived this lived the inefficiency of it, right? And it's really, really helpful to take all your customer data and put it on a map on your phone, and that has a bunch of tools in it, like colorizing and filters and routes and yada yada. Of course, it helps a ton. Depending on who we also know, because we're connected up to Google. Like we know if it's got 4 walls and anywhere in the world, and business is conducted there, Google has figured out what's happening, and we buy all that data from them. And so, if you sell to dentists, you can bring up all the dentists, and most people know where most of the dentists are, but it's like, oh, but there's a new one right there. Did you know when you overlay the data that we have with the data that you already have, you're like, oh, well, I didn't know about that. Is that a real dentist right there on that corner? I've never been there before. And so you can see it right away. Well, once again, that's not complex to use or difficult technology, right? It's really it's a map. Like, I guess that gets back to like my squatting in a cave selling stuff. You would have a map.
Yeah, you might back then it might have just been the wheel, might have been the sales efficiency thing. I think it's so funny because you're talking. I'm thinking about last Saturday. I went to go see granddaughter's soccer game and drove to a part of town that used to be in my old sales territory. I was like, I've never been down this road before. Like, how did I miss that? And there was all these businesses and potential prospects. So yeah, I wish the iPhone was around. I wish cell phones were around when I was doing that. But seriously, like all of this is, as we're wrapping this up, I think, the question that I'm thinking everyone listening should be asking right now is, where am I wasting time? And then the follow-on question could be, how could I leverage technology to stop wasting time? Because once again, like we said at the beginning, 24 hours a day, however many hours a week you're going to spend selling. If you're wasting even 10% of that time, you are literally hamstringing your ability to make income. So I think this exercise, the same exercise that you use to now, create what seems to be an amazing solution for people, would be a great exercise for all of us to sit down at the end of this episode and just go, hey, where am I wasting time right now? And what could I do? System, technology, AI, my goodness, like what could I do to be more efficient?
Yeah, I mean, just put a bracelet on, and I've got a lot of bracelets right now because I have a 3.5. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter.
Yeah,
put a bracelet. So put a bracelet on and just like wear it throughout the day, and
yeah,
or do something. If you already wear a bunch of bracelets, you won't notice it. But do something that you wouldn't notice, and just keep bringing. Set a recurring alarm for every half hour to be like, what did you just waste time on? And write it all down, and you write it down on your phone in an email to yourself or whatever you take notes, and just be like, in the last half hour, these were the things that I did that it kind of felt was inefficient, or that there was inefficiency there. And a lot of people, the CRM is a big thing, right? Like a lot of people have, like, the way they've set up their CRMs could be a lot more efficient, and and a lot of times they haven't done things that would get a lot of value from their CRM if they had it set up differently.
Yeah. Well, Steve, what a fantastic conversation. And this category is something that I think we'll be talking about here in our community for some time to come. I know folks are thinking, wow, this is really cool stuff. How do I get more Steve Benson in my life, and maybe even get a map? That would be amazing.
I do sell the maps. There are a few people that sell as many maps as I do.
Oh, Lord.
So to learn about what Badger does, and it does a whole bunch of things, just go to Badger, just look up Badger Maps. I guess the best way to get a hold of me personally is just probably my LinkedIn profile. So just look up Steve Benson Badger, and I'll come right up. And I have a podcast, the Outside Sales Talk, which is a podcast for outside salespeople. So
love it.
So
well, hey,
good.
Steve, thank you. Yeah, thanks for investing in us today. And this has been a phenomenal conversation. I wish you were around when I was in my first field sales job. I just got to say that.
I was around, actually. There's a lot of gray in this beard. I promise I was here.
I mean, not the map that was like 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide that you had to open. Like
I was in California.
You just dated yourself, Darrell.
Oh yeah. I had the book of maps, like the.
Oh yeah,
you have to what a world. But when I hear the kids complain today, I'm like, you should have seen.
That's all right. I had a pager and a calling card and a map.
The Rolodex, and then your Rolodex would fall on the floor, and the cards would go everywhere on the car floor. I don't know.
Well, hey, Steve, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. We're cheering you on. This has been a phenomenal conversation.
Thanks, Steve.
It's great to chat.
All right, take care. All right.
What a great flashback.
That was a great flashback. Not a good flashback, but it was a flashback. But you know what? This is so relevant.
Yes. I mean, we got to ask this question. And I think we always have to be asking this question, especially as new technology comes on board. So yeah, if you're driving around all day, why not go, well, could I be more effective and more efficient? If you are stuck in between calls, or you're all these different things, you're spending hours putting together statements of work, proposals, or what could I do to be more efficient? This goes for everybody, by the way. If you're a sales leader, you're absolutely responsible for this. If you're a sales professional and you're a producer on a team, though, same thing. You're responsible for this as well. I remember, Larry, when I was a brand new rep, they handed me, it wasn't a Rolodex. It was literally like this business looking shoebox that had 3x5 cards in it. And that was going to be, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And so I'll date myself, but I went the first day at lunch. I had that sales job. I had Tom Hopkins' book on my desk. I drove over to Office Depot and bought a Windows 3.1 machine with, I think it was Actor Goldmine, and said, I'm going to figure out how to be more efficient because this shoebox isn't going to work. Well, that never needs to stop. And I think all of us need to be sharing with each other strategies that we can use to be more efficient. It's a great conversation today with Steve.
Absolutely. Just before we wrap, there's one word that just sums us up as repurpose. I'm going
Yes.
to encourage everyone who's listening to this, repurpose your time.
Yes.
Really quick example. For those that are field salespeople who are out in the car, who are living this, who go, yeah, I totally get what Steve was throwing down. Let's just say, for instance, you're in your car, you're a road warrior. If you could repurpose I'm just making the number up. If you could repurpose 3 hours a day and refocus that time into seeing another customer or two in your route, that's 15 repurposed hours a week. Something tells me you'd grow sales, build more trust, grow client relationships a whole lot more. It's not asking for a lot. I think it's doable, Darrell.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today. Thank you to everybody who's leaving reviews on the podcast. It actually makes a difference as we're spreading this movement of authenticity and trust right here in the sales profession we all love. We have some great guests coming on throughout the winter. So we're going to keep it hot here at Selling from the Heart. Stay warm, subscribe, and stay tuned for upcoming episodes. You're going to really be grateful you did. Hey, thanks to all our friends out there. Until next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep building trust. Look for ways to become more efficient. And most of all,
Sell from the heart.